Good evening, everybody. I am Geek Meets Eats Brandy. And as you guys know, in the bottom right corner there is Zander. So Zander's been on with me a couple of times. And we have just to my right here, well, this hand over here, I always do it backwards, is Austin. And right below me is Alex. Is that correct?
Yes, Alex.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Sweet. So I used to do interviews all the time. I was talking to Austin a little bit before you guys jumped in. So I used to do interviews all the time. Don't be nervous, though. I'm just going to ask a lot of fun questions at first, and then we're going to get into what you guys do. So I see a rug behind Alex right there that I know that my kid would love because it's One Piece. The One Piece. Yeah, One Piece. Opti, how are you?
Yeah.
All right.
That's like so we're just one right now.
We're going to start out early or easy, and I'm just going to ask you guys. So we'll start with you, Austin. What is one person, dead or alive, that you've always wanted to meet, and why?
Oh, dead or alive? Oh man, these kind of questions always get me. Off the top of my head, I'm gonna go Tupac.
And why?
Growing up, just one of my favorite artists, multimedia artists. I think he's a visionary, and I'd like to spend some time with him and pick his brain. Yeah, super influenced growing up. Listened to a lot of his music growing up here on the West Coast, specifically down here in Southern California. So just a big influence. That's the first person comes to my head.
You know, it's interesting you say that because I know they just recently actually arrested someone for his murder. Finally, yeah. T. Claus, Mary, how are you? Christina Payne, so blessed. How are you? But I was going to ask you, like, what did you think of when they did him? They had him performing as a hologram.
I think that's pretty cool. I'm personally like into all of this like future tech and holograms and all this stuff. So I think it's really dope, and I think it's actually only gonna get a lot better and a lot cooler. So I'm all for it. Actually, yeah.
Would you guys? This is for all three of you. Jumping off of that point, if you guys had an opportunity to go see for a reduced price, go see a hologram versus the actual artist, would you guys go and see that, or would you save the money and actually go see the artist live?
I guess
if the option was there to see him, I could still see him live. Like if he passed away, I would sub for that. But if he was still around, I'm definitely gonna pay the extra money to see him live.
Right. Yeah, that's right there, exactly that. Where if they were alive and then I went to go see a hologram version, I feel like that's like seeing a tribute band when the artist is still going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I mean, the tribute bands can be cool, but also. But if they are gone, I probably still wouldn't really want to go see that. Just personally for me, just not because of any morality or anything. Just more of like, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, but like what made it cool is because they had Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre. They had like all of West Coast on that stage, and then they brought Tupac. So that it wasn't just like a Tupac concert. So in the scenario you're talking about, I probably wouldn't even attend any of it.
Well, I mean, like, and you bring up a good point with them being passed away because it would be a chance for new generations to see people like Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles all back together. That would be cool. Like have Paul McCartney live and then put the other Beatles out there. All that kind of stuff would be amazing to see, and especially for new generations. So, Alex, to you, who is one person, dead or alive, that you would want to meet and why?
Man, okay, I was going back and forth with this question while he was answering. I have two. I know that's not the answer. I have two, but I'll say the first one, the main one, would probably be he's another music artist. He is alive, but Del the Funky Homo Sapien. If many people don't, I don't know if people know him, but Del, he's a throwback old school artist, hip hop. He has like the group Hieroglyphics. Some of his music was just like pretty much what I grew up on as well. Like he was saying, like it's just nostalgic for me. So that's definitely one, and then another one. If I'm add on to it, will be Mac Miller. Mac Miller is also
there you go.
A huge one for me. Going throughout high school, getting through everything like that. Like Mac Miller was always in my headphones, like walking through the hallway. So like, that's another one that would like. I regret. I had an opportunity too when I was in high school and I didn't take it. And now like looking back at it, I try not to beat myself up on it, but I'm like, man, that was like the one that was like, dang, should have did that.
All right, favorite childhood toy.
Me?
Ooh.
Anybody?
Bop it. Even to this day, Bop It. I love Bop It.
Bop It, yeah.
That was a game. That was a game. That was a mind game too. It worked your mind a lot. I like that.
I mean, shoot, me personally, I didn't have one toy, but I had a lot of I had a lot of action figures, a lot of X-Men, Ninja Turtle action figures, but more than anything, I played video games like my Sega Genesis probably.
Yep.
Sega
Classic.
all day long until I got the PlayStation and all that. But yeah, lots of Sonic. Lots. I played tons of that.
In the chat, they're saying "Baby Alive." Dead Zone is saying "Stretch Armstrong."
Okay.
I saw Dead Zone sent you some chomps there. I'm interested to see what happens with those.
I'm interested to see what happens with them too. I had to break away from attempting to customize them to have this interview, so I was having a hard time, but I'm gonna get to it. It's just the flow, man. I'm dealing with a whole bunch of shit. But my favorite toy is the Spider-Man #1, the movie, the Tobey Maguire movie. The action figure that they have for that one, he had magnetic hands and magnetic feet. But his
I didn't know that.
figure is it's like the best Spider-Man figure in all of Spider-Man figures. So yeah, that to answer that question. But yeah, Dead Zone did send me some chomp.
So Christina Payne, thank you for sharing the links. So we're going to get into this, guys, and talk to these guys. So as you can see behind them, they have some examples of their work. So the interesting thing was, so the very first thing that I ever saw and how I knew that you guys existed was I saw the Z rug. That is Zander's rug. And actually I have from earlier, I have that picture. Let me do that. Let me show this right here. So it is in the upper right hand corner there, and Austin, you did that one, correct?
I did, yep.
So what blows my mind on both works, both of you guys on the work, is the amount of detail that you can now put into these, and the fact that you can do all of these crazy shapes. Like, it's not your grandma's rug anymore where it has to be a square, or it has to be an oval, or it has to be a rectangle. So Austin, we'll start with you. How did you get into this? And I mean, just, like, why does it become a passion for you or a business for you?
Yeah. So, I mean, simply the way that I got into it is basically through the power of social media. About 2 years ago, a friend of mine that's also an artist, an illustrator, he just posted a video of somebody making a rug on Twitter one day. And I saw the video and I was just like, I could do that. pretty much. Like, so yeah, like with me, I'll see things, I'll see like certain type of mediums or whatever, and I'll just get like attached, or I'll get excited about that thing. And then, I'll get a spark inside of me and I'll be like, I know I can do that. And then I'll be like, and I'm going to do that. And then so from after seeing that video, I just went down the rabbit hole. I watched a lot of YouTube videos on how to do it, how to make the rugs. And I just went down the rabbit hole and I started acquiring all of the things that I needed to make some textile art. And then I went from there. But I actually, the first rugs that I ever made, I have it laying down right here. I made I don't know if I have a picture of it actually. I don't know if I ever posted it, but I made a Wu-Tang rug of the Wu-Tang symbol. But I punch needled it, so I didn't use the tufting gun at the time. I did it all by hand. Took me like took me a couple of weeks because it's pretty big. It's 2.5 feet wide.
So how long did it take you to do? So Z, I know, is about 3-4 feet high.
Oh, yeah, it's about 3 foot tall. 3 feet tall.
So how long does it take to do one of those, that size? And how do you take it from the art that you have to, is there like a stencil that gets printed on textile, or is this something you did freehand?
I didn't do it freehand. You can do things freehand if that's how you like to do it. You could easily do anything freehand on there. But the way that pretty much the majority of tufters they use we use a project the image
Okay.
onto the canvas and then trace.
Oh, that's okay. Very cool. I did that for my baby brother's room. He wanted to have the Red Wings logo put on his ceiling, and so we used one of those overhead projectors, and that's how I got it on there. So, Alex, I'm going to go over to you now. So, how did you get started in all of this?
I'll try not to make it too long, but pretty much a lot of what he said. Power of social media. I found it, and I was super interested in just getting one myself originally, but then I kind of like saw the prices of it, and I was like, oh man, it's kind of expensive because they can go. It's a lot of artwork and time. I didn't really realize the amount of time and effort that went into the rugs at the time. So I kind of like fell off of it. And then I had a freak accident, well, not a freak accident, where I had a situation where I had ended up getting jumped at a bar, resulting into me getting my neck broken, my cousin getting his jaw broken, and all this stuff. And it ended up being that like I was having to be in a neck brace for about 3 months, like a neck and chest brace. So while in that situation, the doctor was pretty much telling me like you can't be going outside really, you got to stay home, be a homebody. And like if anybody knows me, I'm just not that person. Like I can't be in the house all day. So I was like, man, I'm gonna have to like find something to occupy my time. So then I kind of like thought about the rugs again and stuff like that, and like all that kind of stuff, and like just like crafts and stuff like that to keep me like occupied and like mind off stuff. And then pretty much I did what he did. I started doing the punch needling while I was in that neck brace and everything like that. And I probably made about 4 to 5 rugs while in those 3 to month time, just like messing around with different designs and looking up on stuff on the projectors and stuff like that. And then when I finally got out of my neck brace and stuff like that, a lot of my friends were like, yo, where do you buy these rugs and all these kind of stuff? And I was like, oh, I make them. And then they're like, dude, you could like be making money off of this and making a business out of this. And now I'm like fresh out of like my neck brace. So I was like, that's not a bad idea. So I started doing pop-ups. I actually went to my first pop-up in Ocean Beach. And I was selling pretty much all my rugs that were just punch needled. And I ran into Zander actually. That was like my first time running into Zander. It was like one of my first weekends out popping up in Ocean Beach. And at the time he was pretty much telling me his stuff, showing me his artwork. He was telling me about Kobe Swap Me, which I didn't really know about yet. So he kind of got me into that loop and brought me out one weekend, went out there, had a crazy weekend, honestly. Like first day, I was like a little slow. First, I think it was like a Friday I went out there. It was kind of slow. And he was like, come back the next day. Like, trust me, come back. And I was like, all right. Came back the next day. I set up with him and everything like that. We like shared a little booth. And like, he just showed me the loops and how to like, how to like make your artwork like be seen, and like showed me how to like get people to like, even when people look at it and be like, oh, it's not worth that, like to show them that like it is worth that. And you just got to like show them that it is and to explain to them why it's worth that. And then after doing that, I kind of got the bug for it, and I was like, I'm in. So I was like, let's do this. So then we just started, just setting up. And then, we just had that connection. And we were just doing that at Kobe Swap Meet. Started doing other places. Now I'm like doing a lot of commission work now. So like I do like a lot of like times I just do a lot of commissions on the side instead of just doing like pop-ups. But I'm trying to get back into the pop-up game a little bit. But that's kind of how I got into it. Was like the whole pretty much forced to stay inside, and I was like having to make time with something, and that was like the thing that I kind of like picked up the craft, and I just fell in love with the craft.
Now, is it a certain type of yarn that you guys have to use for this? Is there certain ones that are just for doing rugs that would hold up to traffic and everything else, or is this like you guys get strange looks when you walk into Joann Fabrics and you guys are running down the yarn aisle?
I definitely get strange looks, and I've definitely had more than one Joann ask me, what are you doing with all this yarn? And then I kind of show them, and they get kind of excited. But it's not really, there's not every yarn you can use. Some yarns can't fit through your rug gun, which can cause like problems and stuff like that. So if you have those kind of issues, but pretty much most yarns, I'll say work. We usually use like acrylic yarns, or you can do full wool yarns and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, Yeah, me personally, I just use a lot of acrylic yarn right now. I live near a Hobby Lobby, so that's where I personally source a lot of my yarn. But you definitely could use wool. Wool is like a thicker texture, so it shaves a lot better. I've never used it, but I've seen some more. It's more of like a premium yarn definitely, but I haven't used it yet. But yeah, I use a lot of acrylic yarn.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And you guys say so. It's not just the simple stuff of just punching it through. Like the machine does it punch it through and it's in a loop, and then that's why you guys have to go back and shave it, is to get it to a certain like thickness, almost like a carpet pile kind of a deal.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, there's two different types of tufting guns. There's loop pile, and then there's cut pile. So the loop piles, they'll shoot the yarn out through a loop, and that's like punch needle style. And then there's cut pile guns that shoot it out where it's how you see it behind me. And then they make guns that are 2-in-1 that do both. But the gun that I use is just a cut pile gun.
Okay. Is there certain like, or the guns like work differently where like you can do more detail one way than you can with the other, or is it pretty much the same and then it's just where you get the detail is, and as you shave it down and you get more detail in it because it's shorter?
Yeah, I would say a lot of detail comes into like the shaving part, cleaning up the edges. What I call quality control. I do it a little bit while I'm doing the rug and also when I'm done. So I do a little bit of shaving at the same time. So I clean up edges all around while also making it, just to make sure you don't have like any kind of like blending of colors, like the reds mixing with the blacks and stuff like that. Just have like clean line work. But you do a lot of that at the end of it as well. You don't have to do it during it, but it's just a little hack I figured to work for me.
Yeah, like over time you learn your own process and like what works for you, works better. So I've done it. I usually shave down everything at the very end, and I leave my rug on the frame and then I shave it. I see a lot of people in videos that will cut it down and then do it on the ground, but
it makes it so much. It's more strain on your back, I feel like, and everything. You know, you just
I don't know. I don't
all that. Like,
yeah, I don't do it on the floor, and I don't have a big table. I make these in my bedroom, so I leave it on the frame personally. And then as far as detail goes, you got to think of it as like if you've ever used Photoshop or Illustrator, like whenever you're using, say, the line tool, you can change the stroke of the tool, right? And you can make the line thicker or thinner.
Oh, okay.
When you're using the tufting gun, it's only one stroke. You know, it's only one size of a line. So the only way you can really get more detail is by doing a larger piece. So the larger the rug is, the more detail you can fit into the image. The smaller the rug is, the less you're going to lose detail because you can't control the stroke of the yarn. You can add a couple of extra yarns through the tufting gun, but I've only used up to 2 pieces of yarn at a time. I've seen a few people do 3, but I've only used 2. You can put 1 in there too, but sometimes it falls out. 2 seems to be like the best thickness of line work that I've come to find.
I agree.
So in each one of you can take a turn to answer what is the favorite piece that you've ever done as far as is the work so far?
My favorite piece.
And I call them pieces because I know that they're rugs and people put them on the floor, but I mean, this is a whole different level than walking into Meijer and you know, picking out a pink frilly rug to put in the bathroom around the toilet.
It's way different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably say the collaboration piece that me and Zander did back in the day, the portrait of Russ. That was a challenge. I liked it because it was a challenge or something new I never tried, and it was just like one of those legendary, you know, just like iconic, you know, 2 artists collaborating on something that's like making it dope as hell, and you know, sending it out to another artist so he could have it as well. So it was like a whole bunch of things that made that like my favorite rug, I would say.
Awesome.
My favorite piece is I have a video of it up on my Instagram. It's like super colorful. It's a collaboration of Murakami and another brand called Artifact. So it's like a symbol of the artifact blade mixed in with some artwork of the artist Takashi Murakami.
Okay.
And it's like almost 5 feet long. It's thin, but it's really long. And that was probably one of the not the hardest rugs I've made in terms of like the work being hard, but there's like I don't even know, like maybe over like 20 different colors in that one piece.
Okay, so it's the
And
one
so,
that I think I saw like towards the top there, that the long skinny one that's like yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the one of the most fulfilling pieces that I've done to date.
So if you guys had a chance to do anything, you know, as far as in rug format, or is there someone that you like would super want to work with, you know, and you're like, so, you know, say you're a big Batman fan, I would love to do, you know, the Ben Affleck Batman and have it be a birthday present for him. So you know, like what is like a piece that you've always wanted to do that you haven't done yet?
Shoot, I'll take this one first. So Alex kind of spoke about it earlier, saying like he's like, oh, I do a lot of like commission work now. When I first started, I was making like some rugs for myself, really, and like I started out and I made a Wu-Tang rug for myself. And as soon as I posted that, people started asking me about, you know, like, can I make them stuff? And then so I was like, all right, I can make stuff. So me personally, I find myself doing a lot of commission work. Right now, and kind of ever since I started, it was just a lot of commission work. So I haven't really had the chance to do a lot of stuff for myself because I do so much commission stuff. But I do want to get into doing some portraits
Oh, that would
personally.
be cool.
I don't think I have it posted, but I did a portrait of a friend of mine's dog, of his pit bull, and that came out really clean. But I want to get into doing more kind of like stencil work, but portraits. So once I have some free time, I got some ideas, and that's what I'm gonna probably aim to get into, and maybe a little bit more kind of like fine art type stuff too, not so much like logos or like graphic art, but more maybe like fine art looking stuff.
So I have to ask, Newell, are you still here? Yes, she is still here. So I have to show you guys something because you guys are all. So Teresa Newell sent me something, and
About to lean in.
this is a total rug shape, but this is not a rug, obviously. But check this out. So this is an actual comic book cover that is laser etched. So it's almost like a charcuterie board, or it's on slate.
That's tight.
But can you
That's
imagine
dope.
if you did this in a rug format too?
That
I
would be-
mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible. It's a little, I will say, it's like when you get into stuff that has a lot of like gradient work, it gets a little tricky because it's just harder to do gradient type stuff. But like, you'd be amazed. Like, you can do a lot.
Baby Yoda. Did you do a Baby Yoda, Alex?
I did do a Baby Yoda. Yeah, that was like I did that punch needle too. That was back in my punch needling days.
Yeah.
Some of those rugs I punch needled. I did my first, my second sold rug I ever did punch needled was a 4 foot by 3 foot rug, and it took me almost a month to finish. And I undersold myself so much because I didn't realize what it took and the time and everything it was going to take me. And then I was like, I would give it the price, so I was like, ooh, but it was a good experience, and I learned a lot from it. And I was sitting in this garage every day for a few hours, just going at it. Then my hand would cramp up, sit down for a little bit, wait it out, go back to it.
I hurt my back doing punch needling the first time, and I was like, after like you said, I did like 2 or 3 rugs punch needle, and I was like, I'm over this. I'm not doing this no more. I'm buying a gun.
Is it expensive to get one of those guns? I mean, is it something that's become more mainstream?
It's not too expensive. The time that I got into it was like around COVID, and I think there was kind of like a craze going on about tufting, and the prices were higher then than they are now. I think I maybe got mine for maybe around 200 or something like that, but they're like I don't know, like 130, 140 now, maybe cheaper.
And then did you build your? I see your frame in the background, and Alex, I don't know, is Alex frozen? Alex is frozen. Oh, there.
Oh,
The rug.
So did you build your frame like 2x4s? Did you like see something on YouTube or how did how did you guys create your frames that you actually do them on?
Luckily, my dad is a carpenter and was a carpenter, and so he helped. We went to Home Depot, picked up some 2x4s, and he helped me build a frame. I have two frames. I don't know if you can tell, but I got one behind the one you see. That's about 5 foot by 5 foot. And then I went on YouTube, and YouTube. There's so much resources on YouTube, and I found a video of a person who used a sawhorse to make a frame, and then I went and got a sawhorse and built a smaller frame that was more manageable. That's how I built mine.
Alex?
Mine was very similar, but I ended up grabbing two homies of mine and just making them help me out with it. So we did the same. We kind of looked up some videos on YouTube of other tufters, and it kind of like came up with like mixing two guys' ideas and then making our own out of it. So we ended up using their idea of like making legs, which is pretty well worked out, and then to hold the actual fabric onto the actual rug, we use carpet nails. So like the nails that you usually have in your carpet sticking up, we nailed those to the 2x4, so then you could just stick the fabric to it and it hooks onto it with those nails.
Oh, no kidding! Like the tack strips kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yep, yeah. Exactly that.
Oh, yeah. That's genius.
I think I got one right here. You can see, but it's like the.
Yeah, exactly those.
No kidding.
Yeah, then you just nail the nail straight into the frame. You're good to go after this. This is the game changer right here.
That's the game changer.
Yeah.
I've had to put in some new nails every once in a while just because the fabric will start to like pull at it a little bit after a while. But I've had my frame for almost 3-4 years almost.
Crazy.
So okay, so the one piece looks to be. I mean, I know it's different because it's further back, but how big is that, and how many skeins of yarn does that take?
This took about. I would say it took about. I don't know. I would say it took maybe 8 hours to fully complete. Wasn't too crazy long. I think most of my time, a lot of my time in the rugs is doing the quality control, cleaning up the lines at the end and stuff like that, and during it, just so I could get that nice, like even sort of the mix and all that kind of stuff. But also that's probably what takes me the longest time. I do all that kind of stuff. Usually I'll do a majority of that, like he said, while it's still on the frame, all the shaping. The only things I don't do on the frame when it comes to quality control is like getting kind of down with the line work, and that's when I use like I have these special rug scissors that have this kind of like duck bill kind of like bottom to it to allow you not to like cut through the rug, but at least like get right under, like down to the actual canvas that you tufting on.
So when you guys are talking about canvas, and I don't know how you guys do the backs of them. Is it just the canvas on the back, Alex? Can you flip that around so we can see it? Is it just plain canvas on the back, or do you guys like
on the back? I do a backing, yeah. So this is a felt backing. I do different types of backing. Sometimes I do felt. Sometimes I've done wood backings. I did a wood backing for one of my first rugs, and that was like for one that got hung up on a wall. Even some of them that do hang on walls, I still do it with the felt backing, and I'll just put hooks on them on the back so you can hang it. I kind of advertise it as like a textured painting instead of just like a rug, so you can like be more versatile with it. You don't like a lot of people when they pay top dollar for a rug, they don't want to like throw it on the floor. But if they do throw it on the floor, I just tell them to put it in like low traffic areas that aren't going to get like crazy stepped on. Like if you want one for your front door, I probably wouldn't say getting a custom one because it's going to cost you a little bit much, and then it's going to get dirty. Unless I haven't tried them yet. I've seen they have these rug guards, and it's like a spray that like is supposed to protect them from mud, stains like that. I've never tried it. I've seen reviews about it that said that was pretty good, but
I live in Michigan, and in about 3 days, it's probably going to snow here, and so that's not something. If I'm paying for one of your pieces, either one of you guys, I am not walking in with salty boots. That's for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of people ask like, oh, can you hang them on the walls? And even people that I've bought them before that don't have like the actual hooks on them, if they use those little like kind of like the carpenter nails that are on those on the tack boards, those tiny little like nails, and if you just nail them in, the rugs would hide it completely, so you wouldn't even notice it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Now, Austin, back to you. So once you cut it off the frame, you've got obviously the canvas edge. Now, do you guys also have to bind the edges then to keep them from fraying, or what do you guys do to finish the edge?
Yeah, you could bind them, but like the way that a majority of people that I've seen do it, it's called a waterfall edge. So like the one behind me, when I cut it out,
Right.
I'm gonna cut like an inch and a half outside of the piece, so there's gonna be like a border around it, and then I'm gonna just cut those in little like 2 to 3 inch sections, and then I personally hot glue those down on the back.
Okay.
I hot glue it down all the way around, so then it's a clean edge, and then I do the same. I use felt too. I use black felt backing for all of my rugs, and then I just hot glue that down as well. And actually, that process, it sounds like it's fast, but it takes a long time for me. Just taking once it's all finished, like with the quality control, and I'm not gonna do any more detailing to it, and I'm ready to like go to the finish process.
Zander. Keep moving.
What happened?
Because I moved you like popped out and then popped back in, and so you moved, or somebody popped out and popped back in. So it was like everybody's moving around.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I was just seeing us switch, doing play magical chairs. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So okay, the one that you have behind you, that looks what about 3x3 or 4x4?
Oh, I measured it once. I think it's about 3.5 feet tall, and it's almost 3 feet wide.
So how much? And now we're going to get into the costing. And I understand that you guys both have businesses, but like how much does a piece like that cost versus? And Alex, how much does like the one piece one cost?
Are you talking about like how much would I charge for this,
Yeah,
or
how much would you charge someone for a commission like that? So like if I wanted to get my logo, which is square, well, I have two. I have one that's just the burger, and then I have one that's a lot more detailed. Like how much would that cost me to come to you? And does it depend on how many colors, or is it all based on size?
Yeah, I base mine on multiple things. This rug in particular is actually it's a gift. My grandfather asked me to make this for a friend of his. So I'm actually doing this one on the house for my grandfather, for his friend. That's why this one's like custom. It has the guy's name, his friend's son's name on the top. He wanted the custom numbers of his favorite players. Typically, I'm not saying I wouldn't do a rug like this, but I don't do rugs like this. Usually people, if they want commissions, they just ask for, like a logo or a some type of simpler design. So I do a little bit of design, like I have Photoshop, I have Illustrator, I use Procreate on my iPad a lot. So like if I'm gonna custom design something for you, like add whatever it is you want, I'm gonna charge a little extra for that, just because there's design time that goes into it. And then depending on the colors, like if there's maybe more than 5 colors or something like that, I'll charge extra, just depending, because sometimes you might have a piece and there's a tiny bit of one color in it. You can't just buy a little bit of yarn. You have to buy the whole roll of yarn.
Yeah.
So depending on that, I might charge a little extra if I have to buy extra material just to get a little piece done. And then size, I charge by size as well. Typically I charge by like the foot almost. So if you want something that's like 3 feet, in diameter of whatever your image is you're sending me, I charge about 300.
Okay.
And then depending on color and design time, I'll add on to that. But this piece right here, personally, this was a lot of work. I probably charge in range of like, I don't even know, like 500 to 600 for this.
But this is a
big,
good.
this is a big rug, and it took a lot of time, a lot of work for sure.
But these are investment pieces, like you said. These are not just like you throw them down by the front door. That's not what this is for. If you want that, or you want the Lions, or which I'm in Detroit, so that's why I picked that. But we do play the Chargers coming soon. But it's one of those things where, yeah, I'm not going to spend $500-600, and especially because A, I have a dog, and B, it's either raining, snowing, or it's sunny for 5 minutes and then it's raining or snowing here. So it's not something that I would put by the front door. Like that would be like something like that with my logo. And Zander, you've seen the hamburger logo. Yeah. That would be, if I'm getting kind of rid of a lot of my Funkos, but that would be cool to hang on the wall behind.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
I've made a piece. I think I do have it posted. I have a friend who does content and podcasts and YouTubes, and I did a picture of his face, and he hangs it up on his wall behind him whenever he's making videos. So me personally, I'm kind of trying to get away from using the word rug, actually. Like, I'm trying to lean more into being like, it's textile art is really what you're getting. Like, if you want a rug and you want to put it on the ground, you can put it on the ground. But I'm trying to lean into more being like, it's art, and it should be on the wall. Or if you want it to be on the wall, like, it definitely can go there and belongs there.
Well, okay, so Alex, before we move on to the next question that I have for you guys, so like, how much would the one piece be?
For me, that rug is about 2.5 feet wide by 2.5 feet. I usually charge around like 200 for that.
Okay.
For that amount of detail. And then for like different pieces, like the one right here next to me, this is a lot larger. This is about 4 feet high by like 3 feet wide. And this would be more so like he was saying, like on the $600 range, $500 to $600 range.
Now, if someone did want to use these for like, so a business, or if someone's going to a Comic-Con, like some people here, I mean, is this something that if they did want to put it down, it is going to be high traffic? Is there a way, like a certain way that you guys could do it, or like you said, put the spray down on it or whatever it is to keep it? But I think these would be awesome for people who have, the vendor booths and things like that would get their name down there and that they could use, or like Sergeant Red's, which is a vintage toy store that I have. They have a rug that's by their back door that has the logo on it, but something else that they could do of just their face or this, and they could be in different places. I think that would be awesome. All so, right. I understand the cost, but if it's something where you're going to use it like Zander, having the Z rug at the Comic-Con, I mean, is it something that will hold up to that type of traffic? Or are you like, no, don't even do it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I actually, when me and Zander first were setting up, I used to have a rug that I had, this giant 4-foot Nike Jordan rug that I had sitting on the floor for everybody. And when I said I had times where I was cutting gum out of that thing because people would step on with their gum on their shoes and then have a piece of gum stuck to the rug. And that thing I went through, and even after going through everything and then it was looking crazy, someone still bought it off the floor from me.
Bought it right
still like,
can
I buy that off you? Like, I'm like, which one? Like, on the floor.
That's what we're talking about.
On the floor. They're like, I want that one on the floor. I was
exactly.
Like,
you're like, that's juicy fruit, and that's strawberry bubble gum right there, but it's all yours.
And if I had to add something about the rugs, like with Alex, because he was in the pop-up scene for a minute, and so he kind of discovered the art of sizing. So like, yeah, he charges sometimes $1,000 for his custom pieces, depending on what you're looking for and the sizing. But he had every size for $30 all the way up to $200 at the store. So he made it possible for people just to be a part of that world without having to do a custom piece, like how Austin, he does majority custom pieces. You know what I'm saying? He's a studio rat. He's inside working on customs. and Alex is too, but he also at that time period again discovered the art of merchandising and how to display it. Again, that one that was on the ground, that one sold all of his rugs. It being on the ground and for people to just step on sold the ones right in front of him. And down to the point where they literally bought a rug that was damn near 2 years old on the asphalt for full price almost. You know what I'm saying? So it just to me like how the quality of what Alex how his rugs are and then the quality of how Austin's rugs are. When I met them, I met a lot of people who do rugs, but Alex was the first. I've never met anyone that could top the quality and the color matching like these two here. You know what I'm saying? So even just that, they pay attention to the detail. So however they structure their business, it's always going to be about masterful art. And that's why I think like what you were saying, the caveat to I need this behind me. I need this to display for my business. And for me, it's like I need this to tell my story through my characters. And this rug, the one that Austin made, that one told for I want to say about 5 months, it told my story for my character, and I was able to have something right there in front of me to talk about this character, what it means, what it represents, and getting people excited about it. It helps sell other product to that character, or oh, I can't afford that, but let me get one of these prints. So it's a real add-on to your business. They are in the business of adding on to your business. So they can cover your walls and your floors, and that's just how it really comes down. They could be interior designers if they truly wanted. Alex is damn near a fashion designer. I think I have the jacket in the backpack, but I wear this jacket everywhere I go. And he'll grab it. Yeah, exactly. I wear this jacket everywhere I go, and I get nothing but, dude, that's so sick. And so for me, it's not just about the business behind it. It's about the interaction behind it. That's going to elevate business off the rip. So business owners, that's what they're always going to tap in with these cats is I need my logo, I need my this. But these two both have like serious passion. Like Austin said, looking for
that's
fine
so
art.
hard.
Oh yeah, so this is the type of example of the jacket that I have. So I have like a marble vintage smoker's jacket, and he did a lupile lighter, pink lighter on the back of it. So, Austin is on his way to becoming an artist through the medium of rugs. Like he says, it's textile art. That's what me and Alex always talked about, was that this isn't even a rug anymore. We're gonna call it rug so that people understand. But because sometimes they'll call it whatever they want because they don't know what it is. Oh, is this a bathroom mat? Bitch, no. And excuse my language, but no, this is a fine art piece. And so I personally saw it and went through it. That's why I'm gathering them to be and helping me make a shopping experience, not just a featured artist. They're helping me create a shopping experience with the rugs. I know it firsthand how epic this product, but also this artwork is. And on top of it, I was there with Alex firsthand. He knows how to speak about his work. Austin knows how to speak about his work through his work. So, that's how me and Austin linked up, was because of Designer Con, and I'm sure you're familiar. So Designer Con, I met Austin at a booth, and he was like a section of this big entire, I want to say, like network community. And I truthfully, I don't know about it. I would like Austin to probably talk about it a little bit about this community, because when I saw them, it was like all future stuff. I saw like TV screens with look like NFTs being turned into animations. Like I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And Austin was there with the rugs, and I'm like, bro, like these are really good. Amazing energy, amazing interaction of these happy to be there, and you could feel like, oh, this something's about to happen. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna link up. Let's just say a year from now, and we're gonna do something epic. And so, like, that's what all this is. This is the link up. This is the Avengers coming together. Me and Alex haven't been able to do pop-ups the way we did a couple years ago. It's crazy. A couple years went by us like that, but now it's like it's tour time. So I know Alex can, when he shows up, he's going to show up. I'm fucking trying to get Austin out here the best of my ability to be able to have him come to these shows where it makes sense for him, because he lives, somewhere off of like, what is that? Desert? What's it called? Palm Springs?
I'm about like an hour and a half east of LA.
Okay, exactly.
Yeah, I'm from the Inland Empire.
Okay. Inland Empire. So that was going to be my next question. Was running into it is you guys have obviously met Zander, and Austin and I were talking a little bit backstage before you guys popped in, and I was saying I hadn't put a whole lot into this channel lately until I had met Zander, and it's one of those things where Zander starts going, and then it's like, like when you see the cartoons of someone having like a psychedelic kind of like trippy kind of a thing where it's all rainbow colors and like all around you, and it's like one of those things where he makes me want to do this more. And I was super excited when he said you guys were going to come on, and then the 17th we're having the food truck guys come out, and they're going to come on, and it's one of those things where I get to meet new people, which is awesome. B, I'm learning something tonight, because I had never even ever thought, I assumed these were like, rugs are done in factories. It's not something that people are doing behind. And then when I started looking at your pages, and he's like, I'm going to have Austin come on, I'm going to have Alex come on. And then I went to your pages and I started looking at your work, and I was like, holy crap. Like you don't expect this. So I know that you guys, Xander's doing the tour, and I hope both of you guys can make it out, but talk about some of your experiences with Zander, and like how you guys have, like, I've been sucked into the world of Z. So how has it been for you guys?
Dude, all I can tell you is early morning coffee runs. Just me and this man meeting up at like 4 a.m. every weekend. Just grabbing our coffee, just chatting up. We have our little like pre-brief early morning talk before we go into the Kobe Swap and get our setup going. It was like a routine. It was like clockwork. Literally, we was like, hey, on our way there, like, all right, see you there. Let's like already pull up, coffee in hand. Or if we didn't have coffee in hand, Ariana, his girl, would go pull up and get the coffee for us, run back. She already knew what we needed, exactly what our order was. The ladies at Starbucks knew who we were already when we were pulling up. Like,
yep.
Which is crazy. I wanted to bring up, I ran into one of the ladies that we used to always see at the Starbucks over by Zander's old place, and I was going into Breakfast Republic over here in San Diego, and she sees me. She was like, "You're the rug guy," and I was like, "Wait, what?" And then I was like, "Oh, wait, yeah, I remember you." And she's like, "Yeah, you guys come in all the time and get coffee." I was like, "Man, you were our fuel and the reason we were making it out there that day, because you were hitting them early morning, staying out real late. I remember some days working on rugs until 2:00 in the night. Or 2:00 in the morning, actually, and then having to leave at like 4 a.m. to get down to the Kobe Swap meet, because I was just trying to bust out as many rugs as I could.
I'd be scared for him, bro. I'd be scared. I'd be like, yo, drive safe, man. Like,
yeah.
fucking.
Did you get sleep last night? I'm like, I didn't. I'll be like, while they set up, I'm like sleeping in the chair, just trying to get a little shut eye before they're like,
See, you guys are young. Do you see the gray hair? Like me, I'm like, we went out to a dance club, and I will say a dance club loosely, because it was like 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s music, because I can't handle all the new stuff. I don't know how to dance like the kids do now. But we like left to go out at like 9:00, and my friend and I were both like, dude, we're normally in bed right now, we're going out right now. And we lasted till a little after 12 or something. It was like 3 hours in the club and then dancing around and jumping around. But you guys are so much younger, and it takes so much energy. But that's kind of where you come in, is because it's like all of a sudden, like, you're like, hey, I got this idea, and then I'm like, I get this energy behind me. And I don't know if you guys are the same way since you've met him, but like, you talk to him for 5 minutes and you're like, I'm gonna go jump off the Empire State Building and I'm gonna land just fine.
I'm gonna be good. No, I think it's kind of like what Alex said. Some of the things that I know he values in what we did and what I bring to the table is, you're gonna show up somewhere and I'm already have been there for an hour. Rolled up the things we like to roll up, coffee in hand, and then on top of it, like he said, a game plan. And for me, that's what I value in everyone that has been a part of any segment of my journey, is that you guys have accepted my role in this, and I'm gonna do it till it's done. And it doesn't mean we all are going to be, you know, it wasn't every weekend for the longest time, but it was like what we did during those weekends for that year. We did something really epic, and we experienced our own selves. And that's what I think I offer as, is just like a mirror. Like, oh, this is what I am. I'm also the things that are bad too, like the things that you see, you know what I'm saying? I'm also transparent as fuck. I'm not the best person in the world, but that is who I am, as an energy source to bring into the field, to show you or an individual what they're really about. But really, you showed yourself, and that's really all it comes down to. You know, me and Alex, we spent all this time together, but we did one collaboration piece. But that one collaboration piece, it was the most epic journey, and it was the energy of what we were doing, and that's why it got to the artist that we even did it of. You know, we immediately got to a superstar. And the caveat to both me and Alex in that scenario is time will tell. Time will, you know, I sent him a video of Russ got a rug, you know, and this is the artist we're talking about. Russ got an amazing rug made by an artist that we all know. And I was like, hey, isn't that crazy how we like beat him to it? You know what I'm saying? Like we kind of did, you know, and so we don't need the viral moment, like, yo, like, you know what was cooler? The happy faces when that little girl was holding that egg rug, you know, with her mom, and me capturing it on a video, and being able to witness an artist step into his own self. Again, his story particularly to me is inspiring, because he made these rugs that we see with a broken neck and a neck brace. It's not only is he stuck in the house, he's also stuck. He can't move. So the only thing he did, and so to me that was like, dude, you know, you know like how much you've overcome. And he's so positive. It's not he doesn't know, it's that he's like, I'm not gonna sit here and think about it. I'm only gonna keep, you know, elevating. He showed me that, man. Bro gave me a lot of advice without even giving me advice. You know, he saw one of my ideas get stolen right in front of my face, and he just simply told me, oh, that's why we can't talk it out loud. You know, we just gotta do it. And I'm like, damn, bro, you're so right. And so for me, as much as what I bring to the situation, they bring way more. You know what I'm saying? I know, I know you give me a lot of credit for Geek Meets Eats and in the direction of like how you feel. But at the end of the day, like, dude, you made me feel like a comic book artist and a toy artist. So like that's where this energy comes from. It comes from your own selves. Exactly. You helped bring that out of me within a month or two, because I'm quick. I am energy. I'm quick as fuck. I'm gonna do what I want to do. But it's people like everyone that's in here that has helped make this possible for me. So not to take away from Austin's, you know, story or anything like that, or Alex's story. So my bad.
No, yeah, I feel that.
So Austin, you know, how did you meet Zander, and like what's your ride been?
Well, yeah, so Z kind of talked about it a little bit. I'm a part of like a sub community of an NFT community that I'm a part of. It's called the project is called Artifact, and within that community there's a sub community of creators. It's really like a creator driven community, and we were able to secure a booth at Designer Con last year, and the booth that we had was showcasing a bunch of different creators within the community. And so I got invited to be a part of that booth. And so at the time, I was like, they wanted me to come and do some rugs, but I do a lot of commission stuff. So I was like, okay, it was like a month or two in advance that I knew I was going to go. So I made a handful of rugs that I was able to take and showcase, because I don't do pop-ups typically. So that was the first time I ever did a pop-up where I was going to sell any of my rugs in person. And so it was a cool opportunity for me to go and do that. And I go, and that was my first time ever being to DesignerCon. I'm not huge into collectibles in terms of like owning collectibles, but I'm super
You don't have a room that looks like this, like a hot
I'm
mess?
super into collectibles, you know what I mean? And growing up, I had tons of action figures, and I'm super influenced by all things Marvel, all things Ninja Turtles, comic book culture, pop culture, all of that stuff. Super influenced. I was born in the late 80s and I grew up in the 90s, so like all that stuff I just grew up with.
I graduated in the late 90s.
And yeah, so shout out to my girlfriend. I don't know if she's in the chat. I think she's at the gym right now, but she went and was wandering around while I was at the booth. She's super into art, and there was just DesignerCon is, to be honest, is overwhelming. There's so many different things going on. But she went to Z's booth, and she, the power of Z, she hung out there for a little bit, and she started talking to Z and his girlfriend. And shout out Z's girlfriend; she's an amazing artist as well.
The best.
And she came back to my booth, or she came back to the booth, and she was like, "Oh, I talked to these folks, this couple down the way, and they're really cool." And I can't remember. I don't know. I wasn't there when she went and talked to you guys, but she came back and was just like really energized by the conversation that she had with Z and his girlfriend. And then she was like, he's going to come over here. Or she was like, you got to go over there and meet him. And I don't know if you gave her some. She might have bought some prints or something.
No, I think it was a flyer, bro.
It was a flyer.
Flyer, yeah. She took the flyer, and then I came over there to you because I knew it was gonna. There was no way I was, I came over to you.
Oh yeah.
She really. If I had to give you an example of what happened, I don't know if I did anything, but she was so excited to promote him. She's like, "Oh yeah, he does rugs." Like she was like his manager.
I think she probably saw your guys' art and was like, "Oh, my boyfriend does rugs," and it would go. You guys might,
right? Because I was telling her that I've seen it in real life. That you could sell these rugs via the way that she saw our stuff being sold. I was just telling her like we've done this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
through your experiences with Alex.
Correct. So Alex is the reason why there was that conversation in the first place of like. Because she was like, I'm trying to figure out a better way to basically present them, the rugs and stuff. Well, and I showed her some pictures and videos of what me and Alex, had set up. Because Alex had a whole section of a store. We didn't blend the store where it's rugs here, rugs there. It was like rug store and then art store, but one store. And so I had a good example of like a gallery via rugs. And so that's what got her like, you need to go meet him. So I went over to him. I love the quality. And I also appreciated his appreciation for being like alive. You know what I'm saying? Like you could tell Austin is just like super happy to be doing anything that his mind puts him to. You know what I'm saying? So, and for me, someone as serious as I am, sometimes, like I said, with Alex as well, it helps me get out of my own self and just get right back into being a kid again. It's not about this. It's not about the accomplishments, or it's not even about executing the vision. It's about living your life. So, for me, when I immediately, I gave Austin some gifts, on behalf of my personal collection. Cause he knew things that I knew that I grew up with, like Jay and Silent Bob. Like, I know that sounds like silly, but just knowing Jay and Silent Bob and the song, you know what I'm saying? That I know, it was like that type of thing. You feel like you're on the right path of the journey.
Yeah,
So
we just
Austin
click
represents
real.
that.
We like click kind of like instantly, almost on some like Step Brothers. Like, did we just become best friends? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It was that vibe, and so, you know, after all of that, that interaction kind of helped me solidify in my mind what was about to come, because I was in this position coming off of 250 pop-ups last year, and I was tired, and so I met Austin. We had this like really cool experience of like, you know, we're on board of like, oh dude, this is more than just what we think it is. You know, we're on this path. And a whole bunch of stuff happened for me, and I got inspired to do my own comic books, my own toys. And Austin was one of the ones that because of that moment, he's like one of the only ones that never like didn't just go away. He steady stayed liking stuff of mine, you know, so he was paying attention to the shit I was doing. Usually you meet people, you have a cool experience, and then they dip. And that's fine because that's life. But with Austin, he stayed around in the sense of like digital space, just like you. In the digital space, you show your support and appreciation, you know what I'm saying? And then I know that translates into reality. You could just let that go, but I know it translates into reality. And so he helped me get my character into rug making, or not rug making, but he made it into a rug. And happenstance, Alex came to the Escondido street fair, and he met me on the day I was fed up to no end about street fairs. I was over street fairs. He's like, man, is this a good spot? And I go, not really. Like, I was trying not to be negative, but I was like, tell him like, not really, not because you wouldn't do well here, bro. I'm just over it, bro. I'm so over this. We did too many last year, and this was this year when we met up with Alex, and so Alex was saw the buddies, you know, and this was like the first day I put the buddies out. So I was excited to show Alex because we both love cannabis. So I mean, you know, I think, you know, cannabis. Come on, I'm just joking.
It's legal in Michigan, so yeah.
That's my sponsorship. Cannabis. Come on. You know, it's the best. So anyways, so when Alex came through, it was like it clicked. It was like, dude, let's do some buddies, you know, and we haven't yet been able to do anything in that sense, as well as like me and Austin. Like, we're kind of all trying to work on our timing, but we have things in plan for Comic-Con LA. So I had to push all this vision back to the end of the year because realistically, I wasn't able to get myself on a Comic-Con circuit because I can't afford to pay to play to go to each convention. But I'm going to LA Comic-Con, and I got into San Diego Comic-Con for free because of the energy. So I believe the moments that we link up and we start doing something and the ball starts rolling, like Alex is creating more rugs, which I think is awesome. Austin's creating more rugs, which I think is awesome. And I think that if my tour and my events can be the thing that gets 2 more rugs or whatever it is made for them to keep thriving and start promoting their business in the way that it's about time to.
Mm-hmm.
That's why this is happening. I think that all the time in between was for a reason. All the time that we weren't able to do as many collaborations as we were supposed to do because of life is for a reason. I don't have any regrets on anything because timing is when it's perfect, it's perfect. These are 2 individuals in the art sense of collaborations and working together that I know, like, when it happens, it will happen. Like Austin, I didn't ask him about any updates really on the rug for the Z1, and boom, you know, like, it was done. And he filmed it for me. You know what I'm saying? So
that was awesome.
I mean, and you know, that's how I get to live my life, is seeing stuff like that. I met up with him. I filmed it. We smoked. You know, we talked life. I got to see where he grew up. You know, he listened to my vision, gave me the time to listen to some of my vision, and then that got me excited about moving forward with Alex on top of all of this. You know what I'm saying? Because these are two individuals that leave their egos out the way and know what fucking this is. You know what I'm saying? Austin comes from a creative collective, you know what I'm saying, through that NFT space, but it's more than just the NFT space. It's the future of art. And again, if you get to look at it a little bit more when you have the chance, I think you'll trip on where it's gonna go, because this is the toy business. This is comic books. This is entertainment, the next TV shows and movies, and the way that we create art in the future. So that's what Austin's on that side of, and I believe Alex is on that, like, he's like one of like he's like a pure artist. Like any medium you throw it in Alex, he's gonna do it, but he didn't know he could.
So Alex, so not to cut you off, Zander, but that's something I wanted to ask Alex. So Alex, you do the rugs, but I've seen some of Austin's other work on his page, but is there other mediums that you actually do artwork in as well beyond the rugs? Like, do you do drawings? Do you do paintings? Do you do t-shirts? Is there anything else that you do?
Actually, so I started actually drawing before I even did any of this. I took all 4 years of high school drawing. And then, so I was pretty good at drawing already, but that wasn't like my forte, I would say. Like kind of Zander said, I really like fashion a lot. So that's why I kind of started branching out with the rugs and the jackets and things like that. I've done that a couple times now. And even, I even want to branch out with doing like home decor with the rugs and things like that. So like, I've seen a lot of other people doing like stools, like custom stools where like the actual seating will be like a rug kind of design that you'll be sitting on. So it's like, has that cushion of a rug and that feel, but that would be like what you supplement the cushion for. I've seen people make bean bags or making even like podiums with rugs. So they'll make four square pieces and then sew them all together on the corners and then stuff them. And I even seen people use like the stuffing as like the leftover, like when you cut out your like rug and stuff like that. So the leftover canvas, use that to stuff it. So like you like recycle your materials and things like that. You don't have to use like a whole bunch of other stuff, or even just like cutting up old clothing that you don't have and things like that. So you don't like kind of using waste to also like, create like artwork and stuff like that as well. So that's something I definitely want to venture into, is like getting into making like, bar stools, custom bar stools with the rugs, custom clothing more so with the rugs. I've seen people do like the custom mirrors where they'll have a mirror, but the mirror frame will be a rug. That's another thing I want to go get into. Just things like that. I really like artistic things that are like, multi-tangible. So like it's not just a rug, but it's a rug that's also like built into like the table, or also like into the chairs or the wall and things like that.
Very cool. Now, Austin, you know where I'm going to go next. Okay. I think pour art is the coolest thing ever. I do. It blows my mind. I don't know what kind of paint that it uses. For whatever reason, it kind of looks metallic, but so I don't know if it. I have a crap ton of acrylic paint. I'm sure that's not what you use, but how do you do that? How do you keep it from completely just turning brown and like mixing all together? And like, talk to me. Like, I think it's awesome.
All right. So I guess quick backstory on that. Same exact thing with the rugs. I was on the internet. I saw somebody do it on the internet on Instagram, and I was like, I want to do that. And so I just looked it up, how to do it, how to get the materials. I went on literally the same process with the rugs. I went on YouTubed a bunch of videos, learned the process, learned what materials that I needed. I went down to Hobby Lobby and I bought everything that I needed, and I just started to do it. I just started getting busy. And then over time, like with anything, after you start doing something for a while, you learn just different techniques, different materials, different kinds of things. And so as time progressed, I felt personally that I started to get better at it, and I started to like have my own technique that I started to use. And as far as like the paints you use, you really just use acrylic paint.
Really? Okay.
It's called pouring. They call it pouring medium, and it's like a thick white liquid. It almost looks like milk, but it's thick. And you pour a little bit of that into a cup, and then you take your acrylic paint and you pour it into the cup, and then you mix it until it gets to a particular consistency. And then after you have whatever colors that you have, you pour them into the same exact cup, and that pouring medium, it stops the paint from mixing with each other. So when you pour the paint into the cup, the paint, they don't mix, but they're in the cup. So when you pour it all out, it comes out separated in layers. And then over time, there was some poor artists. Like whenever I get into something, I like to follow a bunch of artists that do whatever it is. So that way, that's how I learn. So I started following a bunch of acrylic artists, and there was this one guy. I looked him up recently, and I didn't find his page, which sucks because he was really, really good. His name was Big Chud, Big_Chud, and he did super clean pours, like that look really good. And like, not to downplay anybody else's art, but I'm gonna just keep it real. A lot of people's stuff like looks amateur. I'll just say that. And like he was no amateur. He had really dope stuff, but the colors he would use looked metallic, and they were shifting colors. And I was like, what the hell is he using? And I think I might have hit him up one time in the DM, and I was like, what kind of paint do you use? And it's I can't remember the brand. I might have some in the cupboard right here, but it's color shifting paint.
Oh, okay.
So the paint kind of looks metallic. You have a piece right here. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Oh yeah. So it's like iridescent almost.
It's like iridescent. Yeah, it almost looks like it has glitter in it, but it shifts colors and it looks really dope in the sun. So I started using the color shifting paint, and I fell in love with that paint actually. And so a lot of the pieces that I did before I stopped doing it was all color shift. I haven't done it in a long time. I haven't made a piece in maybe like 2 years probably, but
okay.
The only reason I stopped, to be honest, is because I work out of my bedroom, and with the acrylic art, you kind of have to have a really controlled environment. The paint sometimes, like if you have like the air on or blowing, the paint will, how can I explain it? It'll like deform.
Okay.
So there was times where I had some pieces laying out, because once you let it set, the paint set, you have to let it cure. So I'd let it sit on the table. I'd go to sleep and I'd wake up and it would be deformed. And I'd be like, damn it, like super upset because it gets ruined basically. But over time you learn that. So I learned that I was like, the environment, I need to be able to control the environment better. So then I stopped putting my fan on. I stopped doing certain things, but then it just got hard to manage actually. And so I didn't give up on it. Like I'm not going to ever do it again, but I just stopped doing it because I don't have the proper space right now to do it.
Well, the reason I was asking you about that and why I asked Alex if he did something else, because when I saw that, I was like, how awesome would it be for you to, like, if you did something similar, Alex, or you had a different medium, is taking that and converting that piece. So like that tile or that piece that you just showed,
yeah,
turn that into a rug. You got the art and then you got the rug.
I've thought about it. I've already thought about it. I'm working towards doing something like that. So just recently I took a piece that I made. Whenever you do acrylic art, a lot of the paint will spill over, and I will do it into a pan or something. And sometimes the paint that spills over into the pan looks really cool itself, even though it's not usable. It looks dope. So I took some pictures of some spillover that I had, and I saved it as like a screensaver. And just recently, I put it into Photoshop to create like a stencil out of it, out of all the colors. And so I'm looking to use that technique in the future to probably do something like that, to take the acrylic art and then put it into Photoshop to get a nice separation of like colors, and then put it into a rug. So I've been thinking about it already. For sure.
I think it would be, and that'd be cool for you too, Alex. Is you know, like if you have any of you guys, I mean, you guys have Zander that's the artist, but if you guys had the art pieces to go with the rug, I think that would be even an additional selling point. You're like, here's the original, and here, you know, you can hang both of these on the wall right next to each other if you wanted to. Like if I have a piece of Zander's original art, and I'm sending him off because I found it like 5 months later. I had a Batman Spawn comic book cover. It's a sketch cover. And I keep meaning to send it out to Zander, and then I lost it. And then I found it in a stack of comic books like last weekend or 2 weekends ago. But having that art that you do, so Alex, you draw something and then you convert it over into a rug, or you know, then I think that makes it so much more special. Yeah. And even would command a higher price because you have that original piece that no one else is going to have. There is one of these, you know, it's not like, you know, one piece is awesome because like I said, my kid would love to have that. But the stuff that you guys do that's original makes it even more special and would command a higher price.
Oh,
go ahead.
I've kind of thought. I mean, when me and Zander did the Rust piece, we kind of did something like that. He sent out the actual artwork that he did, and I sent out the rug. So that was kind of like in a sense. And even after we did that, I love that idea of like giving them like 2 pieces of artwork and stuff like that. So even I have like this classic Dr. Doom action figure that's still inside the box. And I'm planning on doing like a Dr. Doom rug. And then like when I sell that rug, you also getting that Dr. Doom still in the box, like never open action figure. So it's like a double whammy you're getting. You're like, I'm getting this dope rug of Dr. Doom, and then like the Dr. Doom action figure still in the box. So it's like, that's something that I thought would be like super cool. Like both, you getting, it's like a 2-in-1 kind of deal. Like you're getting one thing, but you're getting both. So like, oh, you buy full price of the rug, you're going to get an MF, like the Dr. Doom, like action figure still in the box. So I was like, that's a pretty cool.
Y'all need to make a buddies rugs too.
That's gonna happen. Yeah, and that's gonna be like another thing that we're gonna do when we sell the rug. You're gonna get a buddy with it, or, you know.
Exactly. Actually, that's that. From A to Z, we definitely saw how it worked. Like every time Alex had, let's say, like a Mac Miller related rug, it sold with a Mac Miller piece. You know, like, and that was not even, we tried to sell it together. It just did. You know, it's like, okay, cool. We'll get this for the wall and this for the floor. And ultimately they always put it on the wall because no one wants to step on it. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to introduce at least for my stuff with the Comic-Con stuff. And that's why I'm super grateful that they're willing to, you know, to make these things of the artwork, is because that basically is what that idea is. You know, it's like, I'm just a designer, but you guys are both designers. You know, Austin is like graphically inclined. His abstract is super fucking dope. Like, I think he's got this piece where it's just his signature, but it's like a billion of his signature in all these different colors. But it like tells this whole story in this abstract way, but it's really his signature. But because they're all piled on each other, it kind of just looks like squiggles. But you know, you feel it. So like Alex, like we told him, man, you know, dude, keep drawing. Like he's got this. What's that piece called, bro? The one you make fun of?
Oh, the Will Spliff.
The Will Spliff. He's got a Will Spliff, but he also showed me this Kendrick one.
That one's good,
bro. That one was good. And so, you know, I see that in both of them, is that like their artwork. And I think that idea of like making whatever their artwork that they make into a rug, I think that's the next phase for them as artists, because it's going to translate into other things. You know, maybe they won't make rugs forever. You know, maybe that's not what they want to do,
It's
or
it may be a stepping stone,
exactly. Like for me, I don't know if I want to make comic books forever, but I draw and I've always loved comic books. So let's see how far that goes. Let's see how long that goes. You know,
Yeah.
but maybe I want to retire.
Boy, so help me God, if you don't get your foot in an Image and at least do something in there,
Oh,
because
come on. I'm going to.
that is like, I gotta see him. I want to see that name in that Image comic book.
Fam, I'm gonna be in comic books for like 30 years. I promise you, okay? I promise you I'm gonna make a dent in this bitch. But what I'm saying is maybe when I'm 50 something, I just want to paint outside my house and paint landscapes and shit, which is way opposite than what I do now, Exactly. I'll Bob Ross it. I'll fucking get a fro. I'll get a wig fro, So but no, I think they have both they're both about to step into what it is that they are. And I think me trying to introduce their work into comic books is not just about my shit looking dope. It's about the actual thing that I've been trying to exercise forever. Get artists of all kinds to be a part of comic books, because I think they can make a rug comic cover, and that could be a Comic-Con exclusive one day. An actual comic book that's a rug. You know what I mean? The front and back, and then on the inside it's paper. So like I think about those things because those are the type of ideas I have, but they're the ones that can execute it and make it happen. Like Alex has the brain for figuring out what looks super good right here, what color looks good right here. Austin has the brain for what could I make with all these little things, make into a big thing. And I think that like his community that he's a part of, this artist community, it's a proven example of like, if you step outside of your own ego and you allow yourself to work within a situation where everyone's passionate and has a direction, it doesn't matter what you do. We're all going to come together and be good. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be good in what it is that we do. So with them, the more rugs, the merrier. The more they're able to create rugs, the better it is for creativity. Just the same way for me for drawing. I need to draw, I need to create, and to see my creations become a rug or become a toy or a live statue, all the things that we've been seeing, that is what gives life to the shit. So, they're life givers. That's how I look at it. Like they give businesses the ability to look cooler, feel cooler, and better. You know how many logos I know personally that Alex has made for people who are recording artists, or they got a podcast, or they got a restaurant. It automatically makes it real to the person who's getting it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's how I felt when I saw my Rust piece as a rug. I was like, what in the hell? And I watched it be created within literally 7 days. Literally 7 days. This man created it. He had things, color discoloration, so he had to take out from the canvas, possibly ruining the piece.
Dude,
Then made it work. He shot an interview. The moment he created it, he allowed me to shoot like damn near a music video of him with the rug. 2 weeks later, he was down to do an interview to talk about the rug. Like, these individuals are hungry and ready to go. They are.
My next question, because we only got a couple minutes left here. So it is, it's October 10th right now. Are people still in the window that if they contacted you in the next couple of weeks, that if they wanted to commission a piece to get something for Christmas, is that availability, or have we missed that window? How much lead time do you guys need to do something like that?
No, this is the time right now, I would say, to put the orders in. I just now left like the little slow period when I usually get a lot of commissions. And I think we're gonna get, I think towards the ending, well, right now, and I know usually a lot of times towards the mid to ending of November, I get a lot of people messaging me about commissions. And I can usually knock out a good amount of commissions within a month. So I would say anywhere from usually back when I was setting up with Zander, I was doing about 20 to 30 rugs a month, pushing out at least 5 a week.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
Workforce.
second I'll get home. From Monday to Friday, I would work on rugs every single day, all day, and then I'll have all those rugs and push them out at the end of the way. So if people are putting in orders, I could definitely make it happen.
Austin, are we still in the window with you, or?
Yeah, no, my window is open. I'm gonna be working on stuff to have to vend at the show at the end of the month. But in between that, if anybody has any commissions, my DMs are open. Just hit me up. That's easy.
All right, so you guys, just so you know, and I want to thank you guys both for coming on tonight. It's been amazing meeting you, and Zander's like this, and this, and then I went over. I was like, I got this. Like this is my. I love doing this interviews. I hope you guys had fun.
Had a great time.
Their information is in the description for the video. So if you guys want to reach out to them, DM them on Instagram. And if you are in the SoCal area, then you got the Zander tour that's coming in play. Make sure that you guys are following Zander. There'll be more information. He puts the flyers up. Zander, our next one right now, unless we put one in between, is the 17th. Is that right?
Correct. For Willie's Wings and Bangin' Benny's.
And those are two chefs, obviously. So this is the geek part of me tonight. We're going to do the eats part on the 17th. So we're going to be having a lot of fun. I hope everybody had a good time tonight. Again, thank you guys both for coming. And, anytime you guys want to come back, you guys got a cool piece or anything, just you guys, I message you both on Instagram, hit me up and come on back.
Yeah, we'll do. Thank you for everything, Brandy Z. Thanks, Alex. Haven't met you in person yet, man, but was good. I'll see you at the end of the month. We'll link up and peace and love, y'all.
Real quick before we all go, I did want to just shout out the tour real quick because there is a show October 28th. I'm going to be posting about it. I've been posting about it. Everyone's getting tagged a billion times, but that's just how it is. October 28th, you're going to see these two artists that you just saw here. One Hype Rug, Austin Space, and of course you're going to see Zander and plus 5 other artists. We're going to get more interviews for these guys. Not only are we interviewing some of the food vendors because we have Geek Meets Eats. The food artists are also one of them is an actual artist, or the food vendor is as an artist himself. It's going to be a Comic-Con mixed with a street fair. I'm on here to promote this show as well as many others to come. I'm having about one a month. So stay tuned. The Zander 6 Comics is coming to a city and a place near you.
And then Zander keeps posting, bits and pieces of our interviews, and you never know who's gonna like one of those posts. So you've been blowing my mind, brother. It's been a good time, but I was like, wait, whoa. So it's been fun, and I hope this gets you guys some more exposure. Feel free to clip as much of it as you want and put it out there as well. So. Thanks again, you guys. And so I got some other videos that are coming out. The 17th, we'll be doing the 2 vendors for Zander, the chefs there. And then beginning of November, I have to live up to losing the bet with Handmade by Robots. I'm sure Alex, you and Austin probably have never seen these before. But so this is Handmade by Robots.
Oh,
so they look like and the reason I brought them up is because they look like they're knit, but they're actually vinyl figures. So this is
fire rug.
Yeah. I was hoping that they would check you guys out as well, because it would be kind of a cool collab for you guys, to do maybe something with that. Maybe they even have like the metallic ones too. So
we'll make it happen. Yeah. And guys, follow these 2 artists and support these 2 artists.
Please do. Yeah. The information is in the description. Make sure you guys give them a follow. And thanks again, everybody. Have a great week. We'll be in touch soon.
Appreciate you. Randy, you have a good one.